Digital Eclipse does a great job with creating an experience that plays to your heartstrings with nostalgia.
We try to explore that deeper question of like, why was this game so impactful? Why are we still playing? For both sides, for Capcom and Digital Eclipse, we got to talking and it's like, well, it's the 30th anniversary. You know, we could just put out the games or we can celebrate. You know, we can have a party.
We decided to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter in a really special way by releasing these titles with you know, all the extra features that Digital Eclipse is able to do.
Since it is a very dedicated and very passionate audience that plays these games, I mean, this is a franchise that they've known for decades and they continue to follow and treat it very seriously. So you have to show a lot of respect for that audience.
We worked a lot with our internal fans of the game and our production team to figure out which versions of the games resonate the best with fans and users. One of my favorite parts about working with Digital Eclipse is working with Frank, because he's kind of their historian. It's kind of insane how he can get some of these things that you remember from your childhood, but you just completely forgot until you see them.
It's hard. It's really hard to find this material sometimes because we're talking about games that are sometimes 30 plus years old. Back then, people didn't think that these were products that would live on, that 30 years from now anyone would care about. I just think that 30 years of a franchise continuing to remain so popular, that's worth really taking a step back and doing right. How does this product celebrate 30 years of Street Fighter history? What we kept coming back to was an interactive timeline. Not only is it telling you these little moments in Street Fighter history, there's also just extensive art galleries in there.
There's something that you can spend hours just looking through and seeing images that had not been released before, or just, you know, choosing a favorite character and seeing how they evolved throughout the decades.
It was the best way, I think, of sort of encapsulating what it means that Street Fighter is 30 years old, by just showing that timeline of like all the things that happened in 30 years. And to me, that was a really important feature to include it.
There's obviously a large collection of people who love the music. It's very iconic, memorable theme songs for all the different characters in Street Fighter, and we've pulled all those tracks out and put them in a dedicated music player, so you can just sit there, you know, load up the music, go do something else if you want to, while you have that playing in the background.
Some of my coworkers at Capcom know that I tend to hum the Street Fighter Alpha and Alpha 2 character selects theme a lot. So the fact that we have it in the game where you can put it on loop and just listen to it forever really made my inner child happy.
Back when Super Street Fighter 2 was released in arcades, there was a mode, if you had 4 cabinets, where you could link them together and have an 8-person tournament mode. And this was something that was only ever in the arcade, and even then only in arcades that bothered having 4 cabinets and linking them together.
And we thought, why not use that, but with modern technology, to kind of recreate that experience.
I'm really proud of us, like, just taking that sort of lost Street Fighter tournament mode and bringing it out for the first time ever.
There's a lot of people who are, you know, really into the minutia of like, how are these characters designed and what are their animations and things like that. And we actually have a way for them to sort of go through and view the different animations for some of the special moves throughout the different variations of the game.
If you really want to study the character frames and moves, looking at the sprite viewer, you can go through frame by frame, and even with a grid showing you like just the intricacies.
One thing that was really exciting to be able to implement in this game was a widescreen option for Street Fighter 3 Second Impact. So the original arcade version of that game had an option to do a native 16:9 kind of widescreen presentation. And of course, back in the days, arcade monitors were not really in that format, so it wasn't something that most people really saw. And now players can enable it and see a full screen, like beautiful representation of Street Fighter 3 Second Impact. We wanted to celebrate the original arcade roots of this franchise.
A lot of us who grew up on these games, get that warm fuzzy feeling when you're going through and you're learning all these facts about these games that you loved as a child. And I really think that that's what contributes to the overall legacy of the series by preserving that legacy for future audiences in years to come.